I heard the stories about how you, in a lot of ways, were indirectly responsible for the success that Peyton Manning was able to have as a player. Because one thing that people may not realize sometimes is how cerebral and how intelligent players are outside of the quarterback's position. But you were one of those guys that when people talk about Marshall Faulk, they talked about – What's up, everybody? It's LaVar Arrington here, bringing you another exciting edition of Conversations with a Legend, and I certainly have a legend with me right here, right now, the legendary Marshall Faulk, one of the GOATs of GOATs at the running backs position. He's here. He's promoting drugfreeworld.org. You can see it right here. Make sure you check it out. Get involved, support. Marshall, you're here for a great cause. It's your organization. Before we talk some football, let's talk about why this is so important to you.
Yeah, because drugs is rampant in our country and in every country, I should say, because this affects the world. This is a world issue that we have, and we've tried. And you have kids. When you try to tell them, just tell them don't do something. That's like telling them to do it. So education is the approach. So what we've done is we've created educator kits, stuff that we give away for free. Okay. If you want to learn more about how to educate your kids, or if you're you're an educator and you work for a school and you want the curriculum, we give it away. Okay. It's not something we're asking you to pay for.
Right.
It's for free, but it's giving the kids the education about different types of drugs, whether it's street or prescription, and also vaping, stuff like that. We even tackle what alcohol does to your body, which we understand that, and it's up to you to partake.
Yeah.
You just need to understand and educate yourself on what you're doing to your body, and we believe kids will make the better decision once they're educated about it.
That's like that new age drug awareness resistance education.
Yes.
We grew up on DARE, and they put it in the classroom. So hopefully they put it in the classrooms and get people involved. Drugfreeworld.org. Make sure you check it out. I got one more for you because this is more football related. Obviously, talking to Marshall Faulk, Hall of Famer, one of the greatest ever. People don't realize I was it doesn't matter if they realize it because they don't remember me. It's been too long. But I was a running back when I was coming up. I was a running back and a linebacker. My 8th grade year, we had red and white was our uniform. Everybody wore white socks. Everybody wore, black shoes. Some people wore white shoes. It was just becoming a trend to wear black shoes. And as a running back, I saw you with the Aztecs. And I went with black leggings, black Nike socks, black shoes, and put a piece of white tape around it as a running back. Now, I'm 6'3", playing tailback, trying to look like Marshall Faulk. Conversations with a Legend, I can distinctly remember that defining how my style of running back. I ran like I was shorter than what I was because I wanted to be shiftier. I didn't run like Eric Dickerson. I ran like Marshall Faulk. A lot of people may not realize that, but it played a major part in how good I was playing linebacker because that was the movement. I was able to move like I was more shifty, but I had long-range speed because I was long. I figured out how to run small. Who was your influence? Like, what influenced you? Because you were such an iconic figure, and you brought a spotlight to a football team and to a college that people didn't pay any attention to. It wasn't like this was like a national power that we were talking about in San Diego State. But nonetheless, you put the spotlight on that program. Who was your influence?
Yeah, well, first, my high school coach. I'm from New Orleans, so this is my city.
Okay.
This is my city.
Okay.
So my high school coach was a guy who convinced me, it was my sophomore year, to be a football player.
Wow.
And I was like, well, what are you talking about? He's like, so we could play you at running back and we could play you at receiver, but we can play you at quarterback, tight end. We could play you at corner. I'm going to move you around.
Experimented.
So, yeah. And so with that, I just started looking at, as I saw the league through a different lens. It wasn't just playing the position of running back. So watching a a Thurman Thomas, watching a Roger Craig,
which
watching
his running style is
a
dope.
Chuck Muncie.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All of these guys caught the ball out of the backfield. Lionel James. They were. I was like, so I can be effective. And then when I got drafted, Ted Barsha-Broda was the offensive coordinator for that Buffalo Bills team that went to 4 straight Super Bowls. He brought the offense that they ran
with Thurman Thomas.
And I watched so much Thurman Thomas tape.
Okay.
It was
Makes
unbelievable.
Sense. That makes a lot of sense. All right, so you talked about being in the pros. I heard the stories about how you, in a lot of ways, were indirectly responsible for the success that Peyton Manning was able to have as a player. Because one thing that people may not realize sometimes is how cerebral and how intelligent players are outside of the quarterback's position. But you were one of those guys that when people talk about Marshall Faulk, they talked about your understanding of what was taking place with the defense, how the reads looked, how the game worked, and that played a major part in Peyton Manning's adjustment and adaptation to the league.
Yeah, understanding. And listen, Peyton's a savant.
Sure.
But when you have somebody, you can have those conversations. And Peyton and I, we'd be sitting, we're like this here, and he's like, "That looks like this, cover. What do you think?" I'm like, "You got it. Like that's no. Hey, the safety's rotating. This will probably be 3. He's going to drop down." So just having those conversations, and then in film study and preparation, he and I, we literally saw the game through the same lens, and that relationship and that bond year one, being there for him, because a lot of times he didn't have a lot of time, so you hit the check down, and he was seeing things a lot faster, learning. And what I loved about Peyton, and I had nothing to do with this, was that rookie year, he made a mistake once, and he never made it again. If he made it once, you couldn't get him with it. And it literally, he turned into what he became after I left, because he really, really, really dove into us communicating, making sure we were on the same page, and that became his thing with everybody. He was a full-on communicator with the center, offensive line, receivers, everybody knowing what was going on, and didn't care if the defense heard it.
Hey, man. It's Marshall Faulk. Make sure you check it out, drugfreeworld.org. Support. Get your kids educated on what's going out here in the drug world, all right? And while you're at it, make sure you take a little bit of time. Go on YouTube or something like that. Type in Marshall Faulk. That'll be a treat for you, believe me. One of the best to do it. Appreciate you taking some time for me, man. Absolutely. All right, this is Conversations with a Legend. I'm LaVar Arrington. Yeah, make sure you subscribe. Check out Up On Game. Yeah, Up On Game presents, and Two Pros and a Cup of Joe. We'll be back at you.